Hello guys, and a warm welcome to GHU. We are really saddened today as we bring you an emergency update on the demise of His Excellency Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings. Jerry was quite a man, a big part of Ghana's history, and he was loved and hated by many. But even those who hate him can attest to the fact that in his presence, you can't help but adore him. Today, we bring you close and memorable days of the true legend and African hero, Jerry John Rawlings, aka Junior Jesus. Sad times really, but before we bring you these updates, please like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and hit the notification button.
Yeah.
I'm saying that we can vote people in and out. Personality is okay. But my dear, what we need to do in this country is to establish a situation where even if it was the devil who should come and sit on top of us in Ghana, by virtue of certain procedures, certain practices, the devil cannot get away with doing whatever he wants. He will necessarily have to do what the people expect of him.
Some of us, Adi Yakuma Adipo, Ma Omai, Obinum Eya Ejuma, Golden Bano. I didn't try to say yet. Some of us, young smuggle, young Yasako, no, Atutomao. Mumusa Sanyamanu, Sasikana, Ebeko, Shanu Sano, Ebe create inflation, Ama Yanina. And I'm Wamu. I hope what I'm hearing is false. Sir, police, when they are looking up to some of you policemen, some of you are even partaking in this nonsense. I stand up.
Yesterday I was citing an example of 3 people in a room. By the following morning, one was dead. And the other 2 who were alive were arrested and taken to court. And as they were asking them, or as the proceedings were going on, the case was beginning to find one of them guilty. And they were going to make a pronouncement on him. You know what he asked? The one who's alive, he and I, we come from the same village. We've sworn on the Bible, sworn on the Quran, sworn on the sword, and yet I'm the one being found guilty. Please, I beg the judge, etc., take us to the village we come from. We have a shrine over there, and let us go and swear on that shrine and see whether I am innocent or he is the culprit. Whether I'm the murderer or he is the culprit. That's all the question I asked these Catholic priests. They could not answer me. Because they know you're not going to swallow any poison. But they know that we don't fear that Bible. We don't fear that Quran. But when it comes to our shrine, that one we dare not joke with it. We'll go and tell the truth. The white man who brought the Bible into my country, your continent, the Muslim who brought whatever it is, he's the same person who has gone and invented the lie detector test, the chemical interrogation test. I would dare you to go and line up some of your finest policemen, some of your finest heads, some of your finest, what you call it, judges. Make any allegations against me, you included. Whatever questions you want to ask, take me through a chemical interrogation. I will be the one who will pass. I wonder how many of you will pass. You know something, Chief? If we can learn to be bold enough to restore the value of truth in our society, then we will have justice. Without truth, we cannot get justice. We cannot get justice. And that's why we're suffering. Truth is so important. Do you know what Gandhi said? I don't need Gandhi to tell it to me. Gandhi said he was looking for truth in God, only to discover that God was in you.
We should all comport ourselves properly and do the most obvious, logical thing. Okay? Let's not allow money to influence our choices.
We end up with injustice, we end up with corruption, we end up with poverty, we end up with the worst possible things. We end up with the image. I don't have to tell you the image that you have in Africa. I don't have to tell you. Listen, when I was in office as an Air Force pilot, I went to school and trained in the cities. When I became an Air Force pilot, I had the opportunity to travel around the country. That's when I saw there is a big difference between those of us living in the cities and the mass people who feed us living in the rural areas. My brother, you listen to me carefully. The water they drink in those rural areas is such that the water you use to flush your toilet, the water we use to flush our toilet in the cities is much cleaner than the water they drink in the villages. No clinics, no hospitals, etc. No headache, no needles to even sew their clothes. That's when I began to see that the parasitic relationship between our cities and this thing. I mean, I've seen too much injustice in my country when I decided enough was enough. When some of us began to decide that something has to be done about it. But when we emerged into political office, you know something? Electricity used to be limited to only 27% of the country. In the shortest possible time, we were able to, with Italian assistance, we were able to extend electricity from 27 to almost 87% of the rest of the country. We were able to extend roads. The infrastructure was improved every part of the country. I mean, it was beautiful. I mean, the energy now goes to every part of the village. Children can now go to school and can learn at night, so that my children living in the city will not have an advantage over that child in the village. My child has no superior, was not born with anything superior than that child in the village. But so long as that child in the village is denied and deprived of electricity to learn at night and good water, etc., my child in the city will always have the advantage over the ones in the rural areas. I've been to school where rural students were doing better with the passage of time than those of us in the cities. Please, I know the potential of humanity. So when you're talking about the effects of some of these things, sometimes, you know, these superpowers must learn to accommodate and to live and to accept patriotic leadership, patriotic citizens. Too often, they're happier with people who are not patriots. But you in Europe, excuse me, don't get angry, you never seem to know the role that some of your bad businessmen, you have good businessmen, and I respect them, but some of your bad businessmen are always doing bad things on our continent, and it's our people who suffer. This kind of thing must stop. Your governments must begin to wake up to help us, to help to police and to maintain the integrity of economic policies and economic practices in my country. Your country must help us to protect the judiciary in my country. Your country must help us to police and to monitor and to protect the political integrity in our continent.
During our short stay in power, have demonstrated openly what many people had only suspected before, namely, that the holding of office in government in this country had in almost all cases been used to plunder the wealth of the nation. Ghana is looking up to you. Thank you.
I was advised of your presence in Los Angeles, and when I found out about your purpose and your mission to rebuild the continent of Africa, I couldn't resist. I love Africa. I adore Africa.
Please let us know your own tributes in the comment section below. Also like and share this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time, many thanks.